Good afternoon. My name is Dempo Musa. My assignment is Persuasive Speech. The date is September 15, 2023. Need for action against plastic pollution. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and fellow advocates for change, today I stand before you to pursue you on a topic of utmost importance and urgency: the need for decisive action in the fight against plastic pollution. Plastic pollution has reached catastrophic level, threatening our environment, wildlife, and ultimately our own well-being. I am going to tell you compiling reason why we must take immediate steps to reduce, reuse, and recycle plastic, and advocate for plastic and behaviors that can bring about lasting change. Plastic has become an integral part of our daily lives, offering convenience and versatility. However, the dark side of this convenience is the massive plastic pollution crisis we face today. Single-use plastics, from plastic bags to disposable bottles, have inundated our ocean, rivers, and landscape. Plastic waste has reached every corner of the earth, including the deepest parts of the ocean and remote area of persistent wildlife. Our over reliance on plastic is a grave mistake with dire consequences for the planet. The environmental impact of plastic pollution is undeniable. Plastic waste disputes ecosystem, entangle and choke wildlife, and contaminate water and soil. Marine life, from whales to seabirds and microscope plankton, inject or become entangled in plastic debris, leading to suffering and death. The chemicals leading for plastic have been linked to health problems in both animals and humans. The sheer magnitude of plastic pollution is an environmental catastrophe that cannot be ignored. Plastic pollution poses a direct threat to biodiversity. The intricate balance of ecosystem is disparate as plastic waste invades natural habitats. Coral reef, among the most diverse ecosystems on the planet, are particularly vulnerable to plastic pollution. When coral reef die, the entire marine food web is at risk, and countless species that rely on this ecosystem for survival face extinction. We cannot afford to stand by and watch as plastic pollution decimates our planet's rich biodiversity. Plastic pollution doesn't just harm the environment, it also poses risks to human health. The chemicals in plastic, such as biopropylene, BPA, and phylophatic, can leak into food and water, potentially lead to adverse health effects, including hormone disruption, environmental issues, and cancer. Microplastic, tiny plastic particles, have been found in our drinking water, seafood, and even the air we breathe. The long-term consequences of plastic toxic presence in our lives are still not fully understood, but the risks are too great to ignore. The economic toll of plastic pollution is immense. Cleanup effort, damage to tourism, and impact on fishery cost countries billions of dollars annually. Plastic waste in ocean affects fishing industry, causing financial losses and threatening the livelihood of millions of people who depends on these resources. Addressing plastic pollution is not just an environmental imperative, imperative, it is an economic one as well. The time for action is now. We cannot afford to wait while plastic pollution continues to escalate. We must reduce our plastic consumption by embarking reusable alternatives such as cloth bags, stainless steel water bottles, glass container. Recycling and responsibility waste plastic are essential components of the solution, but we must go further, advocating for comprehensive policy that limit the production and use of single-use plastic, encourage the development of sustainable materials, and hold plastic producers accountable for their product life cycle. We all bear a share of responsibility for the plastic crisis. Each of each of us can make a difference by making conscious choice to reduce plastic waste in our daily life. However, true change requires collective action. We must perceive government, corporation, and industry to prioritize sustainable practice and invest in alternative to plastic. Support for initiative that ban single-use plastic, promote recycling, and encourage research into biodegradable material is essential. In conclusion, plastic pollution is pressing global crisis that threaten our environment, biodiversity, human health, and economy. It is a problem that demands immediate attention and action for individual, community, and government alike. We have power to reduce our plastic footprint, support sustainable alternatives, and advocate for policy that will bring about lasting change. Let us recognize the urgency of this issue and unite in our community to combat plastic pollution. Our planet, our wildlife, and our future generation depend on it. Thank you.